inFamous. What's the game about?
You play Cole, a regular guy, a bike messenger. He delivers this package which explodes and creates a huge explosion that destroys like 5-6 square blocks of the city. And Cole somehow survives. And after the explosion, he can control and conduct electricity. So he has these electrical superpowers. And the game's all about what would it be like if you got superpowers. And so you get to choose how you're going to use your superpowers. Maybe you'll use them for good. Maybe you'll use them for evil.
Good or bad, you say. Are there differences between those two? Between the powers of those two?
Yeah, good and evil, the way you act in the game is kept track of in a karma meter. And if you're good or evil, it changes the game a lot. The powers that you have actually can be upgraded and grow in different ways. When you're good, they're more precise. And when you're evil, they're more crazy and chaotic and kind of more wanton destruction. It also affects the city itself and how people react to you. It affects the way the music plays. So good or evil is really kind of an interesting choice. And it's not just a choice you have to make at the beginning. You can actually go back and forth between good and evil as you play through the whole game.
Are there differences in the story as well, or just in the powers?
The story is basically the same, but we show different movies which reveal different parts of the history of what happened. So when you're playing the game, if you're playing as evil, you may not find out everything about the game. You won't find out the same facts and secrets as if you were playing as good. You have to play the game both ways on both sides in order to learn all the secrets about what happened to Cole.
The powers you have are based on electricity. Why electricity?
We knew we wanted to make a game about what it's like to become a superhero. And so one of the first things we did was try a lot of different superpowers. You know, you can try fire maybe, or telekinesis, where you like kind of lift things. There's lots of different powers, and we tried a bunch of different ones. And electricity was our favorite pretty quickly. You can do a lot of different things with it, like a force field, a shock wave. You can make kind of grenades. It looks great inside of a city. Like cities are electrical. They have electricity everywhere. So you have a reason for sparks to be on cars and on buildings. And you can pull power from the environment, from the city, as well as Cole can use his power to actually turn things on in the city. So electricity, for a lot of reasons, became our choice really early on. It's super beautiful, especially in some of our nighttime scenes with lots of lightning and all that kind of stuff. We really fell in love with electricity during the making of the game. Empire City, where you play, is a made-up city, but it's meant to be an iconic, big American city. We took inspiration from cities all over the world, though. Obviously, we live in the States, so we know how things look there. But, for example, the environments team took pictures of city areas all over the world. Like we took some of the downtown of like Kowloon, which is much more kind of compressed and closer together than an American city would be. We have some of that in Empire City, and we had some of the beautiful parks in European cities actually are kind of influence the parks that are in Empire City. So it's not one American city. It's been influenced by lots of different things. We put in Empire City what we thought would be fun to explore and what would be interesting to kind of build missions on top of.
You're a hero. A lot of hero games are not as they should be. How did you make up a possibility for this game to make it a good superhero game?
Well, the key about inFamous is that it's a superhero game that is about a superhero from the ground up as a video game. We're not taking a hero from some other, from a comic or from a movie. We're not taking someone else's decisions about how the hero works and the constraints that are on that hero about their powers or anything. We really wanted this to be an interactive experience, so we invented everything kind of from ground zero to be fun as a video game. We weren't thinking about movies or books. We wanted to be connected to those. We have kind of graphic cutscenes for telling the story, but we really wanted the feeling for the player of what it's like to become a superhero. And we felt we could only do that with a new property, with a hero that doesn't have a lot of history and a lot of kind of extra baggage. If you're giving an origin story, if you're letting a player make their own origin story, you really have to start with kind of a blank slate of a character and let the player make the decisions that affect that character.
The enemies you see in the game that called Reapers, the faceless guys, where do they come from and what is their effect on the story?
So the Reapers are a gang that controls the first island in Empire City where you start out the game. They used to be drug dealers, and then after the explosion that gave Cole his powers, there are actually other people, some of the gang members, and other even more powerful people who also got superpowers. So as you fight the Reapers, you fight some regular guys who have guns, and then maybe a guy who has grenades. And then later on you actually fight Reapers who can teleport and move around and can actually attack you with a crazy earthquake attack. And so as Cole goes through the game, he actually finds out that he's not the only one who has superpowers, and he has to figure out how he's going to take on these other super villains and either let them take over the city or take over it himself.
We only saw a single player game today. Is there a multiplayer as well?
inFamous doesn't have multiplayer. We had a lot of mountains to climb when making inFamous. We're going to a new platform, the PlayStation 3, a new character, a new type of gameplay. We're making an open sandbox world, and so we really concentrate on just making a great single-player experience.
Okay, just a single player. Is there going to be some DLC for this game? And what kind of DLC?
We don't know what we're doing next right now. We don't have anything planned. We just finished several weeks ago, so we're going to take a holiday and maybe get a little sleep. And then when we come back this summer, we're going to figure out what we want to do next and do that. And there are lots of great ideas, and we'll listen to what people want from us.